What up, my dudes? My name is Jake, also known as Rapture, and I know I'm a little late to the party when it's coming to the whole entire replay system announcement, but I still like to give my thoughts on it. Among the hero changes that came out on the PTR yesterday, for my viewers who have been around for a little while, I'd like to ask you to stay to the end of the video due to my recent name change. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is the replay system that was announced in the developer update yesterday. You can watch it if you want. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. So after this, go ahead and go watch it if you haven't seen it already. It explains a lot of things. So basically, the World Cup Viewer will be the beta version of the replay system. It'll work in the same way how you spectate, let's say, a custom game. You can view from a player's perspective, or it can be you moving the camera outside and everything, just from a third-person perspective. Basically the same thing. You can do this in real time, like basically how the GOTV system works in CSGO. And you can download the World Cup matches and view them from different angles as well. Now, I think this would be especially useful even during just the World Cup, because let's say you're a support player. Maybe you're a Mercy main, maybe you're a Zen main, maybe you're an Ana main, and you want to learn those characters, and you don't want to view, let's say, MCCREE, Genji, Tracer, Widow, Hanzo, whoever. Basically, you don't want to view those characters, but you want to learn your own character. You will be able to do that instead of just watching DPS plays all the time, or vice versa. If you want to watch DPS play, you can do that as well. And the angle, which it's just a very good, just good quality of life change, that they're doing. So before, like in Overwatch League, you can only view what the cameraman was basically willing to show you. This is a humongous step for a couple of reasons. I mean, players, including me, have been asking for this feature for ages, ever since the game came out. Now, I will give Blizzard some leniency, even though they took 2.5 years to come out with something like this. But I'll give them some leniency for this reason, and only this reason alone. Because other esports like Fortnite or CSGO, they're on pre-existing game engines. Like, CSGO on Source, Fortnite on Unreal. And for Overwatch, it's on its own game engine. So it was built from the ground up, essentially. So I can see why it would take them this long to come out with a replay system. But still, it took a little longer than it should have. I will agree with most people on that. Now, for those who don't know what a replay/demo system is, it's basically what I mentioned before. You can spectate matches, but it'll be usually as a file, so you can go back, pause it, replay it, and see what you did wrong. This is really important because, especially for Overwatch doesn't teach you how to play the game really well. It doesn't really teach you very well. So often it's usually coaches or self-teaching that usually gets you to, playing better than you were before. It teaches you how to play the game poorly. And like I said, this is going to be really good for competitive play because, you'll be able to see what you did wrong, from whether it be from your own view, your enemy's perspective, maybe you're overextended, people could see you, and you were, out of cover. It could be anything. This will be especially good for players like myself who don't have good hardware. Like me, I play on a Dell laptop. Okay, so I have the worst hardware possible to play this game with. So I can't record, a game, a VOD of Overwatch, let alone even run it, barely even run it, and so I've always wanted a replay system just so I can see what I can improve on. And this is what should happen, This is also especially a big deal in CSGO, especially for higher ranked players, because those who learned from their mistakes were the ones who climbed higher, and they improved and they became pros essentially. That's a big thing. Like I said, it's good for other things too, even for players who do have good computers, like streamers out there. It's still good because you can see, like I said, from different angles, not just one, which we see the whole entire picture. Here's another thing. Now, this will be easier for coaching for that same reason, but even then, for those, I know that some YouTubers and streamers will only accept, like the minimum for any accepted VOD would be like 720p, like in like 30 frames per second, I think. And that's how it is for Stylosa, for instance. But after this comes out, you won't even have to worry about that anymore. You can just send in the demo file, and there you go. You can get your game reviewed without having to worry about having potato quality. Now, there are some things that I'm hoping that it'll have in the future. I'm hoping that it will have like features such as like you can export any part of it, whether it be the whole entire demo or even just part of it, into a video file format, such as like MP4, MOV, whatever you want to have it be. Now, this is more or less for like just for those who are Frag movie makers. Now, this happens in CS:GO where you can actually program a camera path, and so the camera would go like, and that's from a third-person point of view, obviously, but like your program, like from this angle, looking at players at this angle, to another completely different angle the next second. And they can export that whole entire camera path as a video file, and then they can use that to make some really decent Frag movie montages. I'm not sure if they'll ever be popular with this in the Overwatch community, but it definitely kind of was in the CS:GO one. So I mean, I don't really see a downside to this, but I mean, it could take a long time. Like I said, I don't know for sure. I mean, it could also, have the feature where we can remove certain kill feed data. Like, I only want the kill feed data shown up for only this player instead of everybody. But that's just a personal thing for me. But I'm hoping to keep this and here's what I'm hoping that they'll have it do. Kind of like how they did it with CS:GO. Well, they have it like once you're done with the match, it'll save to your account no matter what computer you're on, and then if you want to, you can download it to a certain machine and then send it in to somebody or whatever. Now, here's one other thing that I noticed that people, when they talk about the replay system, I don't really talk about too often. So I'd say this would also be a good thing to find potential cheaters, whether it be walls, aim hacks, whatever, just anything really. And a lot of cheaters are pretty obvious when they are cheating, so I mean, it'd be like another thing. Now, CS:GO has another thing called, ironically, called Overwatch itself, and basically what it does is that if there's any player that was like reported multiple times, there'll be a demo of at least one of their games will be put into the Overwatch system, you could say, quote unquote. People can, once players hit a certain rank, they can view those demos and judge whether or not if a player is cheating or not. So I'm not sure if I would say it would start best if it was like GM players. Although I'm not sure if anybody would do it, but maybe people like Nathan or something would love to do it because he's made some cheers before. He might like it. Yeah, that's just one other thing that's on my mind. All right, that's it about me rambling about the demo system. Let's go ahead and get on to the next subject. All right, so moving on to the PTR changes, we have the first thing we have is a nice little quality of life change. It's in terms of their audio, and so in Windows there's a spatial audio option, and basically now that option and Windows will override your Overwatch sound settings. Now that's going to be really good because knowing where your enemy is through sound is equally as important as vision, if not more. So that's going to be really nice to have. Now we're going to go on to the hero balancing. So in general, for all heroes, jump height is going to be consistent through all heroes, which I didn't know that was not consistent, but here you go. And for those who are Mercy players out there, you guys might be happy about this. Valkyrie just got buffed, where the ultimate cost is reduced by 15%, which means it will charge a bit faster. Now, healing per second is increased from 50 to 60. Now, basically it just went from the whole healing stats, essentially, with Valkyrie. So I'm not sure if this will bring her back into playable at higher levels, but you guys would have to tell me if it would be worth it or not. So let me know. Alright, for Draper, his shotgun spread was, at least the spread randomization anyways, is being reduced by 50%. And that's really, really good because basically it means his shots are going to be more reliable in terms of damage, and because of its predictability is going to be a bit better to be easier to predict where his shots are going to go. Now, in terms of the reaping, which is his passive, where he gains health, by shooting people, it's going to be reduced. It's not being reduced. I'm sorry, it's been increased from 20 to 30%, which means that plus the reduced spread, or say reduced randomization of a spread, that's going to be that might be like meta changing, but I don't know for sure. I'm not like that high level of a player, so I don't really know. But it's a thought. It's a thought. Now Roadhog is getting some changes too. So his chain is going to be buffed in a way. So basically, the delay. So when you hook somebody, it usually takes a second before he pulls him back. So that's being reduced. So basically, as soon as you hit him, as soon as you hook him, that delay where you pull him in, where you reel him in, that's being reduced. So it's coming from 0.5 seconds to 0.3 seconds. So there you go. So now it's also reducing the target's momentum when you're being hooked. So that's kind of a nerf, maybe if you're trying to hook people off a bridge. I don't know. The cooldown will also begin immediately as soon as the hook touches, or as soon as the hook goes out. The cooldown will start the countdown. So it's not right after they're getting pulled in. It's as soon as it goes out and hits somebody. So that's a nice little thing that I just like how they're doing changing up Roadhog, man. Roadhog just needed something. I'm glad this is what they're doing, because this is what he needed, I think. And now his scrap gun, which is basically a shotgun, basically his spread pattern is adjusted for both primary and secondary fire. This is how Reaper is with his shotguns. Both his secondary fire spread and his primary fire spread are being reduced by 50%. So that's more consistent damage. So basically, I think you can one-shot people again with that combo. But maybe I'm wrong. I haven't tested it out yet, but other people have. Now, Whole Hog, which is his ultimate, his knockback maximum velocity is increased by 25% from 8 to 10 meters per second. So that's going to be really useful for pushing people off the edge of the map, or maybe pushing somebody into a corner and just absolutely destroying them. For those who play Roadhog, please let me know how the changes will feel in the comment section below. Same with those with the Mercy changes and the Reaper changes. You guys all let me know how it feels to you. Alright, so when I was recording this, I forgot to mention Symmetra's buff. Her photon projector, her primary fire now charges up to like 20% faster, which means I'll charge up to like level 1, level 2, level 3 a bit faster, so you won't have to really spam right clicking anymore. And that was just the biggest issue, just because how fast it was. I mean, just say how slow it was charging up. So my bad, guys. And the rest of the patch notes are just bug fixes, really. You can read them all if you want to. I'm not going to read them all out loud. It's just all a bunch of bug fixes. This last part of the video is more geared to my audience, who have been subbed to me for a little while. About a month ago, I posted a video that I was changing my name. And in the video, I stated that it was a competition on who could give me the best idea for a new name. But interestingly enough, 2 days later, I thought up a new name. It was the name that I liked, and it fit. And so, basically, the competition prematurely ended. So, I apologize about that. I mean, some of you guys have some really interesting names, I ain't gonna lie. But I even did comment on this and pinned it on that video, and basically it read, I officially changed my name to Rapture from Jake Former, despite the competition's premature end. I thank you all for the suggestions, as some of them were creative. This is a name that I was thinking really hard about. It fits me, and the reason why I chose Rapture is because the word Rapture means a feeling of intense pleasure or joy. This perfectly describes my satisfaction when doing well in something. Thank you for all the support, you guys are awesome. That's basically just what I said. So, I mean, you guys are all awesome, I ain't gonna lie. Some of you had some really nice names, but this is the one I thought that really fit me. I mean, I'm also just a very, happy guy in general, so, I mean, it's another thing that kind of reason why it fits me. So, if you guys didn't see that video, and you're wondering, okay, who the hell is this Rapture dude? You know why. Since I just changed my name. But anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you for listening to me ramble for almost 20 minutes. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.